Moses, the deliverer, he's taking the children to the sea. Like they're leaving. They got all of the gold from Egypt. They got all the gold from Pharaoh's kingdom. Pharaoh now finally has released them. Pharaoh just lost his firstborn. And all the Egyptians lost their firstborn. Every one. And so now Moses and the children are headed to the Red Sea. And they're going there. They've got lots of gold. They've got all the riches. And all the Egyptians have lost their firstborn. So now they're chasing Moses. Pharaoh says, go, go. He changes his mind. No, no. And he's headed there. Moses and all the children are at the Red Sea. The children are complaining, like, now what are we gonna do? We're dead. Look, Pharaoh's coming, we're dead. Come on. Now what happens? Moses is like, Lord, what are we gonna do? Like, help. God says, don't cry out to me. You stretch forth your staff. Moses, bam, it works. Watch this. Listen, I need you to picture this. This is ridiculous. How high would the water be? No, people have tried to explain it away and say, well, you know, the place where they crossed was only 6 inches deep. It's still a miracle. I mean, all Pharaoh's army drowned in 6 inches of water. So God held all their faces down and they all died. That's amazing. They still all died there. But the reality of this thing, I want you to picture this. The walls go up at the side of the Red Sea. I mean, there's millions of Israelites that need to get through here. Do you understand? That means that it's not just a 5-foot wall. Like it's not just 5 feet. Do you understand? Like it had to be a little bigger than 5 feet. It probably was a lot bigger than this sanctuary. Now picture, you've got a sea that is going to go up in walls. How big will those walls be? How thick would the wall be? I mean, how high would the wave on each side be? Just think with me a little, just a little. What if you had to see that was 1,000 feet deep? Let's just say. I don't know how deep it was, but I know it was deep. I know that like when I go out in the ocean, like it's deep. But then when you go out like deep sea fishing, it's deep, 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 deep. We're talking about a sea, like the whole thing split. So you're looking at the walls, there are fishies in the walls. And it's a solid wall on each side. Now, there weren't walls there just a couple minutes ago. And now and they've been standing there for a while. And the devil is being held back, Pharaoh's being held back because he's just a pawn on a chessboard. He's just hanging out back there behind a wall of fire. They can't get through. Are you with me? Now, the sea that was there is now become dry ground. The Israelites are thinking, that's a big wall. What if it comes down on us? That's a big wall. And then Pharaoh, the fire ends, and Pharaoh's like, Argh! The Israelites, the will of the Lord. Are you with me? He's a pawn on a chessboard, buddy. And God will use him to motivate. So the enemy starts chasing them. The Israelites are like, the will of the Lord. They book it through here. Millions book it through. They get to the other side. And now they're all in the middle coming on dry ground. Stormy mad, really angry. Problem. The Israelites are all out and Pharaoh's army is all in. And Moses just takes that staff. What would it have sounded like? Boom! The end. Do you know what kind of a God we serve? The end, right there, was the end. We serve a mighty God. And he thought that what he did with Jesus was enough. It says that prophets prophesied about this day that was to come. And it says that they couldn't have it. It was laid aside for us. They saw it and were glad, and we have it and we're still sad. The prophets prophesied about a day to come. They saw it and were so excited because they were pressing in to a promise that was reserved for us. And we have a great cloud of witnesses that are all around, a great cloud of witnesses of people that have gone before us that are cheering us on. And the enemy is trying to whisper lies. That's all he can do. He's just a liar, man. He's trying to whisper lies that people can't even grab a hold of truth because the lies are so strong. And we become a people that don't pursue God and take him at his word because we're allowing our past that doesn't exist to interrupt our future. Condemnation came through the law. Moses was given the ministry of condemnation engraved on stones. 2 Corinthians chapter 3. But you and I have been given a different ministry. The ministry of righteousness, not engraved on stones. The ministry of condemnation had glory because God is holy and glorious and there is no darkness in him. He's glorious. And we have been given a different ministry, and this is the ministry of righteousness, which has much more glory with much better promises. And the prophets prophesied about a day that was coming that we're in right now. And the body of Christ as a whole has made light of that and wonders what's the next thing God's gonna do instead of stepping into what God's already done. Are you guys with me? I have dove into this day after day for 15 years, and when righteousness opens up, you can't see anything else. When right standing opens up and you realize that right standing with God is everything. You're right with God, which means you're wrong with the devil. So what he wants to do is whisper to you, just like he did to Eve. Did God really say? Well, yes, he did. He said, if we eat that, we can have any other fruit. But he said, if we eat that, God just knows when you do it, you'll be like him. And he tried to get them to do by works what they already had by creative design. They were already created in the image of God. So what is God trying to do? He's trying to get us to just take him for his word. And if this word gets in your heart, your flesh will no longer have dominion over you. Your flesh will be completely surrendered and submitted to God because it's really not fun anyway.